What's up? Shalom, family. So I was planning on doing this activation a little bit later, but I'm telling you, I feel the call. It's like now. You have to do this now. So here I am, beginning. And I just realized something really interesting too. I haven't been able to go live on my phone app for days. And all of a sudden I did, without even thinking about it, I just hit live and here it is. So it's working out despite all of the changes that Facebook has made to their live producer program. It's just like clearly Spirit was like, yeah, now is the time. So I'm glad that y'all are tuning in. I'm glad that I listened and tuned in this moment. I'm burning some yerba santa right now. Smells so good. I just believe that scent is the strongest and fastest way to shift the energy of a space, inner or outer. You know, that's why I love burning things. I love using oils. I've got some on my desk right here. I love just setting the space. The feng shui is so important. So whatever you need to do to get your space prepared, inner and outer, just take a moment to do that. We don't need to rush. Okay? So as you're preparing your space by making yourself comfortable, grabbing some water to have nearby you or another drink or goodies, snacks, whatever you want. It's not unholy to be snacking while you watch this. Do whatever you need to do. Shit, exit whenever you need to, you know what I'm saying? Like go out of the room, use a bathroom. Like don't be weird and uncomfortable. The flow is always with you exactly as it's meant to be. So just chill and just know that you're perfect right here, right now. And I'm not saying your space isn't perfect. I'm only asking that you give it loving attention, your inner and outer space, and bring into it that which will make you feel the best right now. Because it's already perfect, but how can you just add your loving awareness to enhance it in any way possible? So like I said, bring your water, bring a drink, bring some tea, whatever you want. I don't care. Bring your beer. I don't care. Whatever is going to uplift you. You know, put on some nice scent, burn something, maybe use oils. Maybe turn on your fan if you think you're going to get hot sitting there, because sometimes when you build that spiritual fire in yourself, your spirit gets activated and you get hot. Or maybe you get cold like me, because I tend to like my spirit, like the magnetic hold in my body gets loosened. So sometimes I'll put on socks or I keep a blanket right nearby when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So just whatever you need to be comfortable. You could put some music on in the background if you want. It's good to see you guys. I'm feeling so ready for this. So the eclipse will be tonight, very late, starting in a few hours, actually. In about 4.5 hours, actually. And so my hopes were that I could do this with you guys. You amazing people would tune in. And then by the time of the eclipse, this message will really be rolling. So that people can really feel activated in this message as the eclipse is taking place. So, and I'm not talking about worshiping the moon or the eclipse. If you do, that's great. Totally up to you. But what I really want to acknowledge is the light behind all of this, which is the same light that's inside of you. It's doing big things right now. And that's all. That's what the eclipse is representing. You don't need to get too heady with it and start dissecting. What does it mean? It just means that big shift aguan, yo. All right? So just take that in. You already know things have been shifting. Look around you. Feel inside of you. Okay? So the main point is that things are moving. Big energies are moving. And if it's moving out there, it's moving in here. So again, my hopes are that by the time the eclipse is happening tonight, all of you will have already shared this with your family and friends who are awake or who are awakening or who just need a little upliftment right now. So if you could do that for me right now, send it to somebody who could tune in live or send it to them after the message is done. That activation portal will be open forever. It never will close. So whenever someone views this message, it will be the perfect moment, of course, the perfect setting for them to receive. But my goal is that as many people as possible receive it during the eclipse tonight. So go ahead and share it for me if you can, okay? If you feel called. If you don't want to, that's cool too. I still love you. There's some Palo Santo and Yerba Santa to set the space. I have all my cards out and ready. So while I'm shuffling, I'm going to kind of tune into you guys and shuffle your energies right into the deck. Okay? So what I would like for you to do to assist me in this process is to, first of all, think about what is it that I've been carrying with me all day, all week, all month? What fears, anxieties, stresses, curiosities have I been carrying with me? What uncertainties have you been replaying in your mind again and again that's really getting you nowhere? First of all, the fullness of the light of the moon is just revealing to us that the light behind it all and the light inside of you is going to reveal and illuminate more of the picture of your experience. So why not just let it go for this moment, release your anxieties, and trust that that illumination is on its way, right? But also the reason I'm asking you to put these things down and just open up is because we need to get in tune with that open space, with that space of clarity to be able to receive this guidance. If we're just so loudly replaying the same thoughts over and over, we're not going to be able to hear the whisper of wisdom that comes in, because that voice of intuition is so soft. It's soft because it wants to make sure that you're fully present for the message, because that's the divine design of consciousness. It's like, no, you need to shush. I need your fullest presence because I want to make sure that the most of you hears this. I don't want you to half-ass this. I need you, I need all of you in your wholeness, in your holiness. So shush, just for this moment, and put down whatever it is you've been carrying. Set that weight down, okay? Just for now. And energy can never be created or destroyed. It just is, and it's constantly being transformed and shifted and reconfigured. The light that you see around you is the original light of creation, just being reconfigured, redistributed, restructured, rebalanced. But it's the same original light. Wow, how sacred is that? Nothing here is new, nothing under the sun. And why I'm telling you that is because we need to create a space right now, right? But we just said energy can't be created or destroyed. So what space already exists that we can tune into? What's the most expansive space that we could possibly tune into right now together as one to open up this portal for the wisdom to enter? It's the heart. The heart is the infinitely expansive space. It can never be measured. It's infinite. So let's tune in there together just to make this as easy and efficient as possible. I will meet you there in the infinite space of the one shared heart. And when you feel like you're there, and you don't have to try so hard. In fact, if you're trying hard, it means you're not doing it right. All you got to do is think of it, feel it, know it, and you're there. However you perceive it, it's right. Use your imagination. Everything is mind. And when you're there with me, in that infinite space of the heart, go ahead and connect to the cards. I have the major arcanum of the Brotherhood of Light Egyptian cards, and I have the major arcanum of the Rider-Waite. These are the most important cards of the deck right here in my hands. So go ahead and connect to the deck and connect to the space. Meet me here now with all of you, not part. If you can only give part of yourself, then please get out, and come back to this video, this message, when you could be fully present. Because I want you to focus on whatever's calling your attention right now. And if it's not this, go into whatever it is, because that's what's most important. It's what's inside of you, in your mind's eye and in your heart. But if you can, in this moment, be fully present here with me, then thank you. I see you, I feel you, and I'm one with you here. I call your presence in, and I'm going to shuffle you into the decks. Shuffling you in. You're already in here, actually, because these characters in the deck, they're in you, they're in me, they're the archetypes or the faces of the one. They're the different parts of your psyche, my psyche, and the collective, universal mind. So you're already in here. Can you feel it? So full moon eclipse, you guys, 7 planets going retrograde. This eclipse is only the first, but we're going into eclipse season right now. Summertime also, if you're on this part, in this part of the world, summertime is that pinnacle. It's like age 21 of the life cycle, that, you know, midsummer night's dream, right? We're reaching that height. Just feel that energy, that peak energy. And even if it's not summertime where you are, if you're on the other side of the world, you're in the reflection of that, so you're still at a middle point, a peak point, okay? And it's the full moon, so there is a peak going on here. Any which way you look at it, we're all under this spell right now. So what is the full moon activation about? The moon is a measurement of time. It's not about the moon necessarily as much as it's about the light behind it, behind all things, inside all things. What is being revealed to us right now? So much going on collectively. How can we unite in one message? Who's the main character speaking to us right now? Let's ask together, who's the main character speaking to us right now? If we could see one face with this like spiritual megaphone speaking out to us as a collective, who's talking to us? Now I'm going to grab the minor arcanum. These are the details of the deck. They're going to help us go deeper into the situation. Help us to know how to best respond to this voice, this energy. How can we hear its call? What's blocking us? What's blocking us from hearing its message in its wholeness and holiness? And who's our ally right now to help us respond in the best way possible, with the most grace, with the most ease, to avoid as much conflict as possible as a collective? So the character that's speaking to us right now, I feel like I could cry, honestly. I feel like I could cry. I feel like I could cry seeing this right now. This card has been speaking to me all day, you guys. This is Arcanum 9, and it might look a little unfamiliar to you if you're used to more modern decks, but I'll pull out the equivalent of in the Rider-Waite deck. This is the Sage, maybe known to you as the Hermit. Number 9. Okay, number 9. 9s are endings. It's before we reach the new beginning. 10 is both the ending and new beginning, but the 9 is the coming to a close. This arcanum, this character, represents wisdom. Having walked the path again and again, knowing why we're here. Wisely walking the path with prudence. Prudence is the key aspect of this card. A lot of people think that the star is associated with Aquarius, but the star card is actually associated with Gemini, and I'm going to get into that in the future, but right now I want to focus on this. This is actually the Aquarian card of the deck. Each card has a little of all of the others in it, but the main one here is Aquarius. Why? Because prudence is a key quality of Aquarius. What else does the Sage share with Aquarius? Humanitarianism. Humanitarian. It's about each other and service. The Sage knows that. The Hermit knows that. Yet why is the Sage known as the Hermit in modern decks? It's pointing to a key quality of this card. Because he doesn't go around shouting out everything that he knows. There's a lot of that going on right now, huh? There's a lot of unsolicited advice, opinions being shoved down each other's throats. My heart is beating so fast right now because I can feel it. And this is such a powerful message right now for the collective. It's like, shush and be quiet. Do you think the voice of wisdom screams at each other? No. The Sage has become known as the Hermit because he takes the space to remember his sovereignty and to remember that everyone else is also a sovereign being. That in order to truly see the truth of the way things are, we need to periodically take that space and look from the outside in and see from the bird's eye perspective, the bigger picture perspective. When we're so caught up in everybody else's crap and everything going on, we become lost in that sea of material reality. We need to take a step back to be able to see the wholeness of the circle of life and everything unfolding within it. So I'm telling you, right now, it is so important. If you want to be out there and you want to be protesting, whatever you want to do, you want to get involved however you want, bless you. But make sure you're replenishing yourself and taking the time periodically, not just one time, but returning to the space of introspection to really make sure that no matter how much you feel you're living in your truth, that you actually are. That you every now and again just take a step back. Go into that solitude. Come into the quietness of yourself and the heart of your mind and the heart of your soul and ask, am I still on the right track? Okay, good, I am. Okay, jump back in. Come out again. Am I still on the right track? Oh no, I need to refine this a little bit. Or I didn't see how that was really unfolding. I'm glad I took a step back so now I can redirect my energies more appropriately. This is the sage. This is the hermit. He's constantly reevaluating, not to the point where he drives himself crazy. That wouldn't be very wise. But enough so that he makes sure he's taking care and he's being strategic to the extent that he has to in these crazy times. He makes sure that in order to reach that place of circumspection, he steps back, if only for a moment. How long doesn't matter, that's up to you, but you have to be true to yourself and your heart and step back and ask yourself, has this time I've spent alone within my own heart and my own mind been sufficient? Am I ready to step back into the world? Only you will know. Only you will know. Okay? That's the first thing that really comes through. Remember, no matter what you're doing, how much you're throwing yourself into all of what's going on right now. Again, however you're deciding to engage, bless you. And I bless your process, and I see your prosperity, and I see your success, and I see your safety. And I know you are protected. But I only ask that you frequently take these moments to yourself to just check back in with your center. I want to talk about the moon card because 9, if you look at the moon, which is number 18, and you reduce it to a single digit, 18 is 9. What is the moon? The moon, this full moon eclipse, wow, what does the moon have to do with the sage? Why do they share the same number value? Because only when you fully access the initiation of the sage, when you fully have achieved that state of wisdom, that frequency of preparedness, can you step into the night and the world of deception and illusions. Only when you have developed this archetype within you and you've reached this level of true wisdom and mastery are you safe to, all alone on your own, dive into the science of occultism and explore the hidden darkness of the realms unseen as represented by the moon. The darkness doesn't have to be scary. The shadow, the sea of the subconscious doesn't have to be scary, but you do have to be prepared. So you think you're ready? You think you're ready for everything the moon is about to reveal to you? I pray you listen to the sage inside. I'm talking to myself right now. I'm talking to myself right now. I'm talking to myself right now because there's only one self right here, right now, and always, always. Rebecca and everyone, each one within the one listening to this, I pray you heed the advice of the sage that is within each one. And make sure that when you call in this illumination and you ask for everything to be revealed, and we're asking as a collective, we're like, enough is enough. I want the truth. Let it all out. Oh shit. Well, okay, that's great. Well, create the conditions to be prepared for that, and it will come. Because that's how the law works. The universe doesn't put out the net until you jump, right? So if we're going to dive in, how can we already see the truth being revealed? By preparing for it. Okay, when we set up our frequency in such a way where we access this wisdom, we call upon this wisdom, we activate our inner sage, that's telling the universe, I am ready for the darkness and everything that's to come of that. But we would be very foolish to walk forward with any other ally at the front. He's the one that should be at the front lines right now. The forefront of our minds and heavy in our hearts is the sage right now. He's the one that will help us the most in this time by literally telling the universe, we are ready. No, truly, we're ready. Not by being some false sage and just saying, yeah, I'm wise and I'm ready. No. By really activating the sage within. That's absolutely telling the universe that we're ready. So prudence, okay? Be careful. You're not being unwise to take a moment to think things out. That's not unwise. No matter how many people are pushing you to think this or do that or say this or say that, take the time that you need to yourself to reach that place of truth, to know that whatever you're about to think, say, or do is true to you, and you're not doing it, saying it, or thinking it because someone else told you to do it. I don't care what anybody says. Take the time, however long you need, to come to the decision of what you're going to think, say, or do, to create and develop that strategy from a place within your heart, from a place that's true absolutely to you. And the sage doesn't deny the advice of others, because the true sage recognizes the sage within each one. And he says, I will hear you, brother. I will hear you, sister. And I will really hear you. I will feel you. I will empathize with you. And I will still make my own damn decisions. And I don't need to scream it out everywhere, and I don't need to shove it down anyone's throat. Like I said, you're right, Lumiere. The sage does not run around screaming his opinions and his thoughts, and no, he strategically does so, inserting his truth where it's going to be the most beneficial. And he doesn't even look for those channels. The channels appear to him. Because the sage has already gone through the previous initiations. He already has highly developed this faith in the divine plan unfolding. He knows he's always going to be in the perfect place at the perfect time to insert his truth and his opinion. It comes to him. The opportunities come to him. He magnetizes them simply by his trust in the divine plan. He's not going to waste his precious energies running around looking for where to insert it. That's foolish. He sits back and he trusts. And he knows that all he needs to focus on is learning and continuous growth. Because the sage knows, because he just went through 8 to get to 9. 8, the previous card. And they're a story, they're a sequence. The previous card was the initiation of balance and justice. And that 8 on its side is infinity. He already knows this is forever. This process is forever. So he knows he's going to return again after the end is the beginning again. So he knows he's going to keep coming back and keep learning, and keep growing, and keep expanding. So that's what he focuses on. The only thing that's real is his continued expansion. That's forever. So he doesn't waste his time running around trying to find the right places to insert his truth. No, he immerses himself in studies, in educating himself, becoming aware, and staying open with prudence. And then he knows by law he will be aligned with those situations that need his help, his support, his message, his truth, his guidance. That's just a byproduct of being a sage. When you're a wise one, when you're a righteous one, people will come to you for your advice. Try to think of any wise one that you look up to. Do they go around screaming their opinion, shoving it down everyone's throat? No. You probably find them in your time of need. So no, he doesn't even think about that. He doesn't even think about his role as teacher. He knows that's a byproduct of his nature. The other thing I want to point out is he carries a staff. Okay? He carries a staff or like a walking stick to support him on his way. But the whole reason he has that walking stick is because he has struggled up until now. It's the struggles of the experiences that he's gone through, but later it becomes his support. So just remember this, all of the struggles that you're experiencing right now will ultimately serve to support you. The sooner you could see it that way, the better. And that light inside the lantern, it's a star. Arcanum 17 in the tarot is the star, right? That comes after the sage. The star is the light inside of you. That's the guiding light. That's why it's a star inside that lantern. So you always have the light inside of you to guide the way. So that's the message from the sage, you guys. Remember, prudence and compassion. 9 is the number of prudence and compassion. When you get to this point of this initiation of the sage, you realize you're not here for yourself, for your little self, but you're here for the whole self. You're here in service, in humble service. So don't forget why we fought so hard for our freedom of expression. What are we here to express? What's even the purpose? Why did we fight for it? Okay, here we are. We have freedom of expression. How are we using that voice? How are we using our expression for the greatest good of the one? We have to remember that our expression has a purpose. It's not just that we could, wear some funky clothes and feel good about ourselves. What is that goodness actually serving? Take it deeper. So the sage is also telling us right now, whatever you're doing, stop getting so lost in the details of it. Pull back for a second and really reflect on why you're doing it. Is it really serving the highest good of the one? Despite what it looks like on the outside, let that go. Look deeper. And the light of the moon right now is reflecting this illumination that's happening all around us and within us. So this process is so supported right now. How can you look at the work that you're doing in your life or the effort that you're putting forth and see how it's serving the one and all? How it's serving yourself? Is it really helping you to reach a higher vibration, a higher frequency? Is it helping us to reach that higher frequency collectively? Prudence, circumspection. Frequently take a step back and check in with yourself and then return. This life is about the rise and the fall, the climb and the descent. We go up like Moses to the top of Mount Sinai. We receive the tablets. We come down and we share what we have learned with everyone. But we don't go screaming it. We don't go screaming it. They'll come to us. You just be the example. So the sage is the character speaking to us right now, or the hermit. What's been the biggest challenge in the way of us hearing the voice, the whisper of wisdom from the hermit or the sage? And how is that being revealed tonight? What is it? What's in the way? Reveal it to us. 10 of cups. So we had the 9, because the sage, the hermit, is number 9. Now we have the 10 of cups. And this is so clear to me. We've been so focused, I'm talking about collectively, okay? We've been so focused on the ending, we forgot to envision the beginning. The beginning again, the new beginning. The beginning is implicit in the end, and the end in the beginning. But if we get so caught up in the distress and the sorrow and the tragedy, catastrophe, we forget to envision the brighter future. If you want to sanctify all this madness, if you want to be able to justify it in your heart and in your mind and bring your spirit into this experience to vivify what we're collectively going through, then you must infuse your current experience, all of what you've been judging as bad, with this purpose of bringing a brighter future. Perhaps if we focused on this new beginning, and by the way, cups is the suit of water, emotions, affections, the heart, where we're truly seeking that fulfillment. See the whole happy family dancing around as a friggin' rainbow. It's jolly. Perhaps if we remembered why we're really all here and what this is all for, what we're even fighting for, why we're even doing this. Perhaps if we held on to that vision more than we're holding on to the fighting and the separation and division, then everything would speed along, and the process could be sped up, and maybe it would be just a little more graceful because we wouldn't get so caught up in the hate and the anger, because it's easy to get caught up in that, and the separation, it pulls us in. But if we can just focus on the new beginning while we're still in the ending, that's how we shift the timeline. How long this ending is going to last is up to us. It's in our hands. Each one of us, individually and also as a collective. So the more of us that do this work, share this message with people you think would benefit from this. Let's all activate together in this most auspicious time. Full moon eclipse tonight, reflecting something deep that's shifting within all of us and all around us as well. Not just with the moon. It's just an obvious reflection. Share this message so that as many of us as possible can activate this right here, right now. Remembering that the more we focus on why we're doing this, and the more we focus on seeing the new beginning within this ending, the more we'll speed up this process and maybe not have to go through as much, not quite as much crisis as we would if we just forget about that new beginning. You know what I'm saying? If we just use all of our awareness to just be angry and see how things are falling apart, then we will most certainly prolong this process. But if we can remember the purpose, it will be a lot more graceful. We will open up to divine wisdom that will literally carry us through until, before you know it, we will have manifested that vision together. Before you know it, if you do that, if you focus more on the new beginning, right here, while we're still at the end, soon you'll open up your eyes to a new world. We will open up our eyes to a new world. So, when you close your eyes, that space, that place that you're visiting inside, when you really sink in there, when your brain waves start to slow down, your breath starts to slow down, your heart rate starts to slow down, and you sink into yourself, that space is far more real than what you see when you open your eyes and look around you. That space inside is connected to the infinite space of the universal mind. And it's there that we access our unlimited potential, unbound by the confines of time and space. But when you open your eyes and you see this world, this physical realm, which is bound to the laws of time and space for our benefit, that's why we're here, we chose to be here. It's easy to forget about the unseen realm. It's easy to forget about our unlimited potential because we feel limited. We just think, oh, we're this person in this body, and my name is Rebecca, and I'm here on earth, and I'm trapped. And that is a sacred part of us. We chose to come here, but we are also carrying that unseen spirit always with us, and it's always looking through our eyes. So we have to integrate, both worlds. We shouldn't deny one or the other. A lot of people say, oh, this world is an illusion. It doesn't mean anything. No, it's sacred. Nothing is outside of divine order. Nothing is outside of God. Great Spirit, Jah. All things sacred. All things have a purpose. Of course, the physical realm. This is the most crystallized form of that pristine spiritual energy. It's beautiful. It's so special. But what I'm saying is you need to maintain a connection between the outside and the inside. They really, truly are one. So if we're looking around us right now, we see a lot of destruction and chaos. The tower is falling. The tower is crumbling. And it's easy to get lost in that. But remember that what we see outside of ourselves is already the past. It's already the fruit of a seed that was planted long ago. We are telling, in fact, the same old ancient story of creation again and again, and it's only becoming more convoluted because we've added so much to this world. We've built so much on top of it. We've added layers upon layers and veils upon veils, and it's all good if only we could use all of that extra stuff for the original purpose of why we came here: to grow, to learn, to love, to build in a positive and peaceful direction. It's possible. It's happening. So remember, when you see all the chaos and you see the end around you, the end times around you, just remember the beginning is implicit in the end. The very last letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the Tav. This Tav is the letter that represents both the first card and the last card of the major arcanum of the tarot. The Fool, the very beginning, is represented by this Tav, just as the 22, the Annihilation card, is also represented by the Tav, because the first is the last and the last is the first. I am the Alpha and the Omega, as Jesus said, which, by the way, he actually said, I am the Aleph and I am the Tav, revealing the secrets of the Hebrew alphabet. And what is the hieroglyph for the letter Tav? It's a cross, but not like the one we know, the original cross, the X. The X marks the spot. But which spot? Both the beginning and the end. So don't you forget that when you're looking around and you see signs of the end times, they're also simultaneously signs of a new beginning, beginning times. Don't forget, not for a moment, because the moment you forget, you put yourself at risk to be less present and to welcome in more material entanglement, to become lost in the fear and the horror and the stress and the anxiety. But remember, what you are seeing is a result of a past thought. So why get caught up in that when you can close your eyes and return to the center, right? Like the sage showed us, the main character speaking to us right now. He would tell you, stop, hold on, close your eyes, go within. Don't you forget, what you see around you is something, it's a result of what you've already thought. So go back to the origins of all this. Go back to the world of the cause. Stop looking at the effect. That's so silly. Go inside. Go back to that place of infinite expansion, limitless possibilities, and write a new story. Remember why you're doing this. Every time you see a sign of the end, it's also a sign of the beginning. So that's been the thing keeping us from hearing the voice of the sage, better known as, in these times, the hermit. We've been so focused on the end, our heart breaking, that we haven't been seeing it coming back together. Remember why we're going through this global revolution. Hold on to that vision, and it will lighten up your heart. It will lighten your load spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It will help you to move more gracefully, to stop acting irrationally, carelessly, recklessly, prematurely. When we hold on to the goal of the new beginning, we can see it all throughout this horrific ending. Now, who's here to assist us? Who's the ally now to assist us in neutralizing that energy that we've been holding of just focusing on the end? Who's going to help us? Oh, perfect. The King of Swords. So check it out. We had a 9, we had a 10, and now we have a king as our ally. Perfect. I want to start off by saying that anytime you're focusing on any suit, so here we're focusing on swords, whenever you're focusing on any suit, you want to see yourself as having mastered that suit, okay? So you want to jump right ahead to the queen and the king. That's your masculine and feminine, or emotional side and logical side of that particular suit. So we're talking about the heart and the mind of swords. Swords, despite popular belief, is not the suit of air. It's the suit of earth. And I'm going to talk about that this week, actually, so stay tuned if you want to learn more about this manipulation in the tarot world. But it's the suit of earth. Why? Because we struggle here with our truth, which the sword represents. We struggle in this realm. Nowhere else do we struggle like this. In this spiritual realm, the unseen realm, things, we don't have these kinds of struggles. We have the struggles here in this world of polarity because things get confusing in the world of appearances. That's what the suit of swords is about, our challenges. Sure, first things manifest in the mind, like all other things, but then they, come into reality. So the King of Swords, he's already passed through the queen, okay? You can't get to the crown without the heart. The queen is the heart. So we've already moved through the Queen of Swords, the heart of the challenge. We see the challenge. We clearly are connecting to it in our heart. whether we're responding with anger or with peace or however anybody's responding, we've clearly reached the heart of the matter. That's why things are exploding left and right. We've reached this pinnacle, okay? But now we've come to the king. And the king knows what to do with those emotions around it. He says, okay, wow, whoa, okay, I've got a little, lost in the emotions of it, because when I was first the Queen of Swords, I was really feeling the emotions that were surrounding the challenge we're going through. But now the hermit says, take a step back. And so she takes a step back, and upon circumspection, upon a frequency of prudence, she develops the kingship, and she puts on the crown, and she says, okay, I'm not going to become lost in the emotions. Rather, I'm going to move ahead to the king. And I'm going to know what to properly do with those feelings and with this truth. Now I'm ready to pull back, check myself, and say, okay, how can I really be wise about where I'm directing my sword of truth, my expression? How can I most wisely act? So you may want to meditate on the King of Swords, see yourself as this King of Swords. Man, woman, doesn't matter. We all have this archetype within us. You also have the Queen of Swords and all the other cards. It's only a man to represent the rational nature or the thinking nature, the mind of each one of us. So how can you bring clarity into your mind so that you can move through these times of struggle and strife with awareness, with concentration, with prudence, with compassion, with trust, and with truth? That's what he'll help us to do. So seeing as he's our ally to move through this challenge, what he'll help us do with that sword of truth is cut the cords of the past. And remember that this 10 holds within it both the ending and the beginning. This 10 is the tav, the X marks the spot, the beginning and the end. We're cutting all the cords, and you don't need to think of each one and what they are, because that will just suck you in. It's a distraction. Just see yourself as kind of having like this fun visualization, a fun visual meditation, use your imagination, of cutting the cords of the past, okay? Like create a symbol in your mind that represents the past and just have a cord from it to you and then cut it. Anything like this, just use your imagination, okay? It's all about the imagination and belief, how you perceive it inside of yourself. So he's cutting the cord to the past and us seeing only the ending. And he's opening up a space for us to now see the beginning and true fulfillment of the heart. So one way that could look, for example, is perhaps you're so focused on something that you saw or heard that someone said. Maybe something someone shared on social media that really triggered you. And he's saying, no matter what, I'm asking you for just one time. You could go back to it if you want in a moment, but try this new method first. Whatever's triggering you, cut the cord, and just for this moment, move to a vision of the fulfillment of your heart. What do you look and feel like when you're happy, when you're fulfilled? What does it look and feel like to you to see the collective happy and fulfilled? If you're seeing or experiencing an image or a situation of divisiveness, separation, if you're seeing two people quarrel or argue, how can you just take one moment to step back and envision them holding hands and making peace? Try to replace as many thoughts that you have of strife with peace. Something that I love to do with the story of Passover, when Pesach comes, is I try to unite the Egyptians and the Israelites, because I believe that's the hidden story. The unification and the merging is always behind the separation. The opposite and equal force lies hidden within. So always consider the opposite. Everywhere you're seeing the end times, remember, what you're seeing and experiencing is a result or crystallization, manifestation of a past thought. So why focus on that? Close your eyes, go inside, and see the opposite. See the beginning instead of the end. See peace instead of anger. See merging and unity instead of fighting and separation. It may feel funny to you at first because you may be so used to getting caught up in the sorrow or the strong emotional overwhelm that comes with those feelings that surround these situations of separation and divisiveness. It's easy to get pulled into that, especially if you're an empath or you're sensitive and you really feel that it will overcome you. That ocean of emotion will wash over you and pull you in. But just try as often as possible to do this new method, this new technique of just whatever you're thinking, close your eyes and see the opposite. Whatever feels uncomfortable to you, the more uncomfortable and painful it feels, the more you need to remember this practice. Just pause and see the opposite to neutralize what it is you're experiencing and feeling. The King of Swords will help to cut away all the bullshit and all of the excuses we tell ourselves to stay attached to the pain and the fear and the separation. Like I said, those feelings are strong. Okay, the enticement of vice is more powerful than the austere and gentle beauty of virtue. So those feelings that come with vice, anger, jealousy, resentment, hate, sadness, we want to give in to those feelings. And sometimes it's okay. And if you're already in it, you have to know it's okay. Nothing's outside of divine order. But try to use your willpower, all of it. Just call it in and redirect it and say, no, I'm cutting the cord. I don't care what excuse my ego tries to bring up. I don't care what my monkey mind runs around in there trying to tell me. Ooh, think this, ooh, think that. I don't care what it tries to distract me with. I am not falling for it. I'm holding on to my truth. And no matter what anyone tries to tell me I should think, or I should say, or I should be, I'm simply going to just stick to what I know is right. I'm looking ahead. Tunnel vision. Ahead. I don't care what the popular opinion is. Everybody could think something that doesn't make it any more true. So the King of Swords is going to help us right now. How perfect. The master of the suit of challenge and strife and struggle. He's the one who knows best how to move through this. He's the one who already has come in touch with the queen and the heart and knows that he works for her and he cannot be deceived. He works for his lover. These are the two halves of yourself. It's the one working for the one. Who could be a better ally? I couldn't have picked a better ally right now. That's why I love doing this live work with you guys, because together we picked this. We called upon the best possible ally. And it's the king of all challenges. So if you were afraid or you were nervous or anxious that you wouldn't be able to move ahead through this crazy experience we're going through globally, have no fear. The king is here. And he's inside of you, and he always has been. And now it's just time to recognize it and call upon this king to rise up within you, to do what you know is right, when you know is right, not when someone else tells you is right. Okay, so just to sum up the reading, and then I'll leave y'all to your processing. The first card, the main character speaking to us right now, is who you know to be the Hermit, better known as the Sage. That's what it looks like in the Brotherhood of Light Egyptian deck. See, it's an Aquarian card because of why? Prudence, circumspection. He's a humanitarian, full of compassion because of all he's gone through. So let us not forget that our struggles that brought us that walking stick are also our support later, when we can review it with compassion. So the Sage is speaking to us, you guys. He's saying, do whatever you feel you must, but take the time frequently to return to yourself, to your center, to that quiet space of solitude, to really make sure you're on the right path. And you can do this as often as you need. It will never hurt to just take a moment. Prudence is key. in a time when so many are acting out of anger and acting prematurely and listening to what someone else said and just following them. In a time where this is happening, we couldn't have picked a better card. Frequently return to your center. Remember the truth of who you are. Do this as often as you need. The sage doesn't go around screaming his opinion and his truth. Him being a teacher, that's a byproduct of just who he is. He's constantly gathering wisdom. Doesn't forget that he's also the student. And because he so trusts in the divine plan, he knows, and doesn't have to think about it, that whomever he's meant to transmit his knowledge and wisdom to, they will come to him. Don't waste your energy. One more thing that I feel coming through is to tell you guys the succession. The next card is the 10. What is the 10? It's the wheel. The wheel of fortune. We have the ability to direct our fortune, positively or negatively. So how can we right now access the wisdom of the sage to move on to that wheel and to be in control of that wheel, to take the wheel together and direct it in a positive way? The wheel, a new cycle. 10, a 1 with a 0. The 1 is the magician. So if you take the 1 and the 0, it's the magician reaching a new level of mastery. So how can we access this true sage within, individually and collectively, and progress to a new cycle where we're directing our fortune in the best way we can, with the most awareness, with the most loving, compassionate awareness, steering this ship in the right direction? The thing that's been keeping us from accessing his wisdom is seeing the end more than we're seeing the new beginning. Remember, what you're seeing around you is a result of what's already been thought. It's a result of a past thought. It's a fruit of a seed we planted at the beginning of time. So instead of the end, open up the possibility of the future. And envision, spend your time, more of your time and thoughts and precious energy, not on seeing the end times, but on envisioning the new and the fulfillment of the heart for all of us. Where you see anger, replace it with peace. If only in your mind, if only in your heart. You will do no good by harping on that sorrow and on that pain. The King of Swords will help you to cut the cords on all of the pain of the past that's driving your thoughts, that's behind your words and your actions. He will help you to clear the way and to get through this challenge in the most intelligent and graceful way. Wow. So I'm going to meditate on that now, and I promise I'll write a piece on it this week. I didn't do that the last couple weeks, but I will write a short piece for those of you who want to share this message and know that people won't watch the whole thing. But if you think people will watch, please send it out. The eclipse is going to happen tonight, and it's just a reflection of a big shift that's happening, okay, tonight. So send it out. Whoever you think can receive this message, whoever you know to be a bright light in your life that could help to activate this message farther for us, send it to them and allow it to be supported even more so by this huge, powerful event that's happening tonight. And for you guys who've never tuned in before to my readings and you really enjoyed it, I just published a book. So if you want to learn more about tarot from my perspective, it's called The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. You can contact me and purchase directly from me. I'll send you a copy, or you can get it on Amazon. Somebody said yesterday, oh, I just hope I can understand it because I've never read tarot before. And in that moment, as this friend was saying that, another friend messaged me, I swear, and said, you know what, I'm really enjoying this. I'm up to chapter 6, and I just wanted to say that even if someone never explored tarot before, they would be able to understand this. So I just want to say, if that's you, if you've never been into divination or cards, if you feel I'm not psychic, but you want to tap into the potential that's within each one of us, you may want to consider checking out my book. Also, every Wednesday, I'm offering a Zoom course on the occult symbolism within the major arcanum of the tarot, and we're only up to card number 1. We did the Fool and we did the Magician, so feel free to let me know you're interested. It's all by donation. So let me know if you're interested. I'll get you the info, and you can also catch up because I have the recordings. I can send you the links with the password and you can catch up. It's been amazing. We're building a community. It's so much fun. I'm so happy to share my tools with you guys and learn together, grow together, unify our perspectives to reach a more expansive one. So let me know if you want to be a part of that goodness, okay? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, this powerful experience that's happening tonight, this eclipse, this full moon eclipse, it's really only reflecting a big shifting that's happening back of all things and inside of us. So please share this message with the people in your life who need it, and also those people in your life who are pillars for everyone else, so that this portal of activation can be expanded for the sake of the goodness of us all. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Shabbat. If you guys would like, I have a private group. It's called Shabbat Crew, Shabbat Crew, Crew. Go ahead and add it if you'd like, and I will accept you in. Whoever you are, you're all welcome. I love you all. There is where I share more on mystic Judaism, Kabbalah. I share my favorite speakers. I'm gonna have some prayers going live tomorrow, the Shabbat prayers, if you want to hear them. They're divine transmissions. Hearing that Hebrew can be so powerful. So go ahead and join the Shabbat Crew. I have another private group called the Royal Path, so you may want to add that one as well. That one's focused mainly on the tarot. So I'd be happy to share all the goodness with you guys there. It's been so good to see you all tuning in. How powerful to see so many beautiful beings. It was up to like 80 people at one point in here, guys. We're all here. Right now it's up to 50 people. We're all here together receiving this message from the One Archetypal Alliance all together. Live. Holy sh... That's so powerful. Thank you guys so much for being here and for sharing this message. Share it in groups. Share it in your story. Share it on your wall, on your YouTube channel. I don't care. Just share it. Get the message out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in my Shabbat Crew group. Aloha, shalom, peace. I love you. All you sages, you wise folk. Mwah!